it's been a long time since the car.
Yeah, I remember seeing your big ass.
Okay.
No!
Excitement over the thought of Mercenaries 3 and the support on my last video on this topic has admittedly got me pretty amped. And I was starting to think I was the only one. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think there's more to discuss. Let's talk ideas. It's important to start off with a setting, a proverbial playground for your destruction. Previous games have taken us to North Korea and Venezuela, so those are off the table by default. But in the interest of actually making a good game, going back to the roots of Mercenaries will help in our hunt for a good location. Logic dictates communist countries like China and Russia could fit the bill pretty well. I mean, they always do.
He dies. He dies.
It may not seem the most original of ideas, but changing the time in which it's set might help with this issue. Perhaps a future Russian war.
You'll be sent one whole day into the future. It may not seem like much, but any more than a day might be a shock to your system. Crossing the time barrier is not for the weak at heart.
Hell, if you really want to take a nosedive into the rocks of, we've seen this before, how about Germany in, I don't know, 1941?
Killing Nazis.
A darker, less colorful version of the Venezuelan sequel. Oops.
You did that on purpose.
The exploration of vast expansions of enemy territory can be a pretty intense experience, especially if combined with the proper camouflage. Traversing enemy territory has always been a staple of the franchise. Moving from base to base, accepting contracts, and trying to maintain balance in an otherwise unstable region.
You make it look easy. Good job.
Okay, so just for shits and giggles, using World War II as our backdrop, you could hypothetically span the entire conflict, all while trying to halt the German blitzkrieg, negotiating with allies and choosing the right contracts. Could be the difference between ending the war and losing more territory to the Nazi offensive. The losses of critical bases, resources, and overall land could be a constant risk, allowing for a more dynamic impact on the battlefield. Resources should be a main priority as fueling your war machine takes funding and stolen goods. This would keep the pickups from the previous games, but expand on them greatly. It could be said that the usual cast of characters could use an update. I propose this. Keep the 3 from the original, just update them for modern audiences, and allow for a create your own character option. This could allow for a unique experience each time you play, not to mention the easy in for cooperative play.
But there'll be more inside.
I hope they got a ditch dug out back for all the bodies. Otherwise, things are gonna get real smelly here later on.
It's a pretty gross way to look at it.
Well, I'm a realist.
Now, I discussed in our last video about the importance of the Deck of 52 mechanic, so it goes without saying that should remain, allowing for the classic hunt of the enemy generals and diplomats. If an HVT is located, complete annihilation of the location should be needed before extraction. Otherwise, personal extraction of the HVT should be required by the player. This would propose the option of stealth, but refrain from becoming too easy.
I am Haru of the Takagura Dojo. Do not forget that.
Players should be allowed to interrogate and capture anyone, similar to games like True Crime and Red Dead Redemption.
Have fun now!
You could add planes, warships, other military war machines, to fit with the chosen time and location. These ideas are like, they're just obvious. Seriously though, I feel like this game could really be something special. I feel like I say this all the time, but seriously, it could be something special if someone would just give it, I don't know, a little bit of love.
Then they shall say of us, never have so many, not so much. Just so few.
Rockstar always comes to mind when I think of this, especially with these types of open world games. So, they would be an obvious candidate to do the job. And do it right.
Walk this way.
EA, fuck off. You had your turn.
I'll suck as many dicks as rip as many throats as I have to.
Did you hear that?
Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up. I could probably go on and on forever about this game, and I'm sure I will in the future. Hell, maybe I'll be reviewing it. Keep your fingers crossed. So, thanks so much for everyone's support recently, and don't forget to leave a comment with your ideas on what Mercenaries 3 should be. And as always, thanks for watching.
Goodbye, everyone!